Welcome to Community Watch, and today we'll be talking about one of the most innovative, interactive, and transformational programs in Rome, Georgia. Today we'll be talking about Foundation Camp. Learn more right after this.
Your life is filled with opportunities to show the world you can take charge. It's waking up each day with a mission. It's working each day toward a goal. It's choosing to rise. It's charging forward with a purpose. It's changing the course of your life and taking charge of your future. If you're ready to be a Take Charger, enroll at Georgia Highlands College today.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg.
Doc,
Hey.
what's going on, brother?
No, wait. At some point you have to do this, right?
All right, come on, man. Since you want to do it,
Okay. All right. I need a little work with that.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
So Foundation Camp.
Foundation Camp.
You were involved in the early years of the camp, weren't you?
Nah, not really. I kind of came along.
I think you were. I think you were. I
Do you-
seem to remember.
Yeah. Do you even remember how it started?
Like a lot of things I end up doing, it started with a fairly casual conversation that we were having about, I wish there was, fill in the blank, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular blank was a camp for young men because we felt there was a need for that. I have learned over the years that when you bring up some casual idea, it hardly ever stops there. And ends up often being a lot of work toward a good purpose, toward a good end. But
I would agree.
yeah,
But 14 years. This is the 14th year of Foundation Camp.
that's right.
I think I'm very biased. I think it's an awesome program. I think it does provide a lot of good for a lot of young men in this community. And I think we have data that shows, we're reaping return on our investments. We reaping the harvest.
Well, I know, and for folks who, I can't imagine there's anybody that doesn't know, but Foundation Camp is a 2-week camp for boys ages 10 to 14.
10 to 14.
10 to 14. That is presented through a partnership between the 100 Black Men of Rome, Northwest Georgia, and Georgia Highlands College. It is a free camp to the campers.
To the campers.
Not to us,
Not to us.
but to the campers. And it is a camp that includes athletics, it includes academics, and
Enrichment
programs. So that's what it is. But now, I mean, at year 14, and this has been true for several years now, we are seeing campers that have grown up, that are college students themselves now, that are coming
College
back.
graduates.
College graduates, and that have worked at the camp too as camp counselors.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first started, I don't know that we really thought it through that far.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No. I didn't.
But now we're seeing, we're seeing a lot of results that are showing up in different
Yeah.
places. So I think that shows that a lot of what has happened at the camp has been positive.
Very positive. And like one of our previous guests had talked about, it wouldn't be possible without the community support, because a lot of what we offer is through true collaboration with other organizations and individuals in the community. But that's one of the beauties of the camp. Beauty of the camp is that we can change it every year based on what works and what doesn't work, and based on what's happening in our society. So it's really a partnership that's bigger than the 100 in Georgia Highlands, but we'll take the credit.
Well, we have done shows about the camp in the past, but this year we've got some young men who have done those things, have started out at the camp as campers, have gone to college, graduated. And have worked also at the camp. So we'll hear from them from that perspective. We are going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be joined by a couple of our guests and talk more about Foundation Camp. Do not want to miss this. We'll be back right after this.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We are very happy to have with us today Mr. Dakota Watley and Mr. Rontavious Coley. And we're going to talk about Foundation Camp. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
And Mr. Coley, what were you doing this weekend?
I didn't know I was going to make it, but I actually graduated college with my first degree.
I like that, the first one.
Yeah, but he got me with, I didn't know I was going to make it.
I didn't. But God and the foundation that you guys laid for us helped me make it. So.
Well, we're proud of you, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't know if you was going to make it either.
Well, I had a little more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, yeah. And Mr. Watley, you're getting there.
I'm on my way.
You're getting there. Do y'all have memories of being a camper at Foundation Camp?
I do. Got a lot of memories still.
Which ones you want to talk about?
Well, what do you remember? Do you remember what are the positive things you remember?
I mean, everything is pretty positive. It's just, people have different stories and the way they tell the stories. I mean, my earliest memories, I remember when the camp used to go up to about, I don't even know, people used to be old in there. But I just remember like it being, before it even became like a certain age limit, it just was like older people, and it was people that we really couldn't spend time with on a daily, but they was like big brothers to us. So we was at the camp, and we was learning from them, and not just from y'all, we was learning from them, because they the ones we see going to see like every other day, instead not y'all. So it was always like a brotherhood type thing. They look up to the next group type thing.
See, for me, I still remember my first day when I first went, because I'm from Seartown and the camp was in Rome. So I still remember the first day going, I'm looking around like, man, I don't really know nobody. So like, who I'm gonna talk to, like who I'm gonna become friends with and all that. But then I did see like one counselor that I knew. So it was like one familiar face, but I didn't have him as my camp leader. So throughout the camp, I started being more talkative, meeting new people. So it was good for me to meet new friends and all that.
I know one of the aspects of the camp, and this is something we did intentionally, and that was to have college students work as group leaders, so that the campers could have a role model and see someone who was in college and think about that possibility. So y'all have had the experience not only of being a camper and having someone leading your group that you could look up to, but you've been in that position too, leading a group and having kids for you to manage, and they looked to you for that same. So what was that experience like for you?
To me, it was good. It made me. I feel like it made me act more better and made me carry myself a better way, knowing that I got younger people looking up to me. So, like the way I felt when I was younger, I would look up to my camp counselor. So, I feel like they would look up to me. So it made me want to act better and do better.
I mean, to me, it was natural because, I have other siblings and I'm the oldest. So it's like I have 100 little brothers running around. So, whenever I'm with them, it's like a father figure that I am to them. So I have to care about them, and, some of them might come to them with issues outside of camp, but you got to treat them as you would treat your brother, You got to talk to them and be careful what you say to them because, some people, they feel they're vulnerable to you. So the camp really taught me how to be a better person as far as like talking to people and opening up and letting people console themselves to you.
Now here's the question I got for you. As a camp counselor, did you feel like, man, if I could go back, I'd have been much better for my camp counselor? I wouldn't have been such a bad kid for my camp counselor.
I wasn't a bad kid, but I ran around, but I do feel like as I get older, like, man, was I really this bad? I don't know how bad I was. Like, I seriously don't. But if I was that bad, now I'm not saying they're bad, they just, restless. They need to run
young
around.
men.
Young men.
They got a lot of energy.
Yeah,
they got a lot of questions, and
some got a lot more energy than others.
Yeah.
And I wish I could talk to my old counselors and ask them, was I like any of these kids? And I apologize if I was.
Me personally, I feel like I was a good camper. I feel like I was probably like one of the better ones. So I don't know. I feel like I was like a good one.
That's good.
We'll have to go back and find out if you really were or not.
And that's what I think what you said, Dakota, is one of the beauties of the camp is that, you can meet people you don't know. And sometimes we may think because people live in Rome, you know everybody, but you really don't. Depending on what side of town you live on, what school you go to. And being at Foundation Camp is really open to any we have students even from different states attend the camp. So it's not just Rome and Floyd County. We have different students beyond those. So it really is an opportunity to meet some people you may not know and be exposed to different perspectives. And that's one thing I like about the camp is that you have this group of young men, and every year is totally different. Every year is totally different.
I think it's like I don't know if this sounds right, but like a youth networking opportunity for later on in life type things. Like you remember him from camp, next thing you know it, boom, it's kind of like a youth networking opportunity at this camp.
I didn't think about that, but you're right, because some of you do go ahead and you matriculate through high school and you end up at college together, different places.
Like I was at camp with Dakota, we've been knowing each other since then, but we never really talked to each other until we got back in college, but we knew each other from then. So, your network.
I'm gonna have to start linking y'all together from now on.
Well, I guess that happened with you, Dakota, with quite a few folks, because when you started at Georgia Highlands, you probably saw a number of the guys that you were involved in camp.
At first when I saw them, I'd just be like, they look familiar, but at first I couldn't pinpoint where I met them at, and I just start thinking. Like as I see them, I'd be like, oh yeah, I think I went to the foundation camp with him. Then I'll go up and ask them, like, hey, did you go to the foundation camp when you was younger? And they'd be like, yeah, I went. Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, that's where I remember you from.
I know one of our missions with Foundation Camp is to put these young men on a college campus, to give them experiences on a campus. athletics, yes, but also some academic experiences on the campus, so that hopefully they will start thinking about college as an option. Do you think that that part of the camp is of value? Do you see that working?
Personally, since I first entered the camp, it has improved a lot. Like he said, it changed with the years. Like now a big thing is financial literacy, and we've been having like DJ Rogers, Darius Rogers. He's actually taught a finance class with the camp, and kids really enjoyed it because he taught it in such a fun way that people care more. You know, kids not gonna really care you teaching straight out the book. So he taught in a way that they can relate. So camp has really improves every year because we have to adjust to what goes on in society. So I do agree that every year it gets better.
Okay. We're actually coming up on a break here. When we come back, lots more discussion about Foundation Camp. So do not go away.
$145 over 92.
180 over 111.
I had a heart attack, a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent. Get back on your plan, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we are talking about Foundation Camp with Rontavious Coley, and we've been joined by CJ Freeman. Welcome, CJ.
No, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
So, CJ, I have pretty vivid memories of you at Foundation Camp, but I don't know what kind of memories you have. So, what memories do you still have of Foundation Camp?
Like the name says, it set a foundation for me. It taught me how to tie a tie, which is something that I always use in college. Being a business administration major, I dress up 2-3 times a week, and that's a skill that I needed, and I'm glad someone taught me. And also robotics, it got me into robotics, and I continued that with the 100, going to competitions, and that taught me how to talk to people as a person that was shy. So also the camp did too, because I really didn't know people at the camp, and it kind of forced me to open myself up and talk and get to know people.
Well, I think that's...
We can just end the show, huh?
Yeah, we can stop.
Right
we just stop right there. No, I think that's actually something that we see repeatedly at the camp. Is it does give opportunities for students who might not be, or campers who might not be
Vocal.
Excellent, thank you. To feel a little more comfortable, and I don't know, the tie tying. I don't know that anyone goes into those sessions already knowing. We might get, maybe there have been one or two in 16, 15, 14 years. But so that kind of starts people off at a certain level.
Yeah. You know, one thing CJ said that I just thought about, one of the beauties of the camp, because it is age 10 to 14, you kind of grow up in the camp if you come every year. So just imagine a kid that starts at 10, if they come every year, so they last year when they're 14, you are there with some of the same students every year. So you develop and you're in the same groups, because we move them by groups. So this opportunity to really grow, because there's a big difference between a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old. And your body has changed tremendously. And so I think that allows for this maturity together, especially during the summer, because we've had some kids that come in at 10 that are just completely different by the time they're 14. Mm-hmm. And we see that growth and that maturity. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the beauties of the camp, is that, you can come for several years. And it's a safe environment, a great environment. But I think, as CJ said, we really put our students in a lot of, we purposely challenge them and pressure them to kind of grow and expand. And I think you hit on that, because you do have these opportunities to actually be a leader at the camp itself. And I think that's something we've always kind of wanted to do, is kind of really see development in these young men, not just come have fun, but actually develop some skills. And tie-tying is one of those skills you need, everybody needs at some point. Even if it's just for graduation from college, you need it. And so it's one of those
It's all the
skills.
time I wear a tie.
It's not your only time, no.
Honestly, you have worn ties pretty frequently this year.
Yeah. For the past few years I was at Highlands, I mean, I wore ties a lot. I mean, I still don't know how to tie a bow tie. Still waiting on that. But I mean, I wear a tie at least twice a week.
Are you gonna do a class on bow tie?
I think I might have to, you know.
I think it's time for it.
We still got counselors we're still trying to teach, some of the new counselors. But yeah, it may be time for, I actually learned how to tie a bow tie at Foundation Camp myself.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Randy Pierce.
Wow.
Taught me at camp one day, and that's from that day on I started wearing bow ties. So I guess we do need to include that maybe this year.
Yeah. Because we have, we have a couple of guys who tie a bow tie using a regular tie.
Yeah.
And I admire the effort, but it doesn't look right.
It ain't the same.
I learned that off YouTube, but it be too thick.
Yeah, it's too thick, but you A for effort, you know.
But I still couldn't learn how to tie a regular tie from YouTube, a bow tie from YouTube for some reason. I just need to. Yeah.
Got you, or something. We got you.
Yeah. Well, I know, CJ, you have not worked as a counselor yet, but we're talking to you about it, right?
Yeah.
I tried to recruit him, but I think he have other options this summer.
He has options.
CJ,
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, but he went off to Tuskegee, just completed his first year, business major. So he has some other opportunities. We ain't mad, but we tried to recruit him.
Well, what I was going to ask is, Rontavius, you, I think, have had the experience, having been a counselor, of seeing some of the young men you've worked with around town, different places, and that connection continues after camp, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. They follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So, I mean, it's just like, like a little brother. I see him around, talk to him. And it's amazing to see, like, one of my favorite counselors, if you're watching this, Rolando, he's one of my favorite counselors. And I seen him, like, probably about a month ago. I was talking to him, and he was telling me, first thing he was saying, he made honor roll. He's in band, and that made me happy. I mean, he's still on the same path. He's always been the same person. So he just, progressing and keeping the same foundation that he started with. And that's not even from the camp. It's just from him. I guess the camp kept him solid and grounded, but his foundation is still the same. So he's a strong young man. I see big things from him in the future.
The camp this year is the last full week of June. Starts Monday the 24th. It goes that entire week, and then through July 3rd of the next week.
So not completely 10 days this year?
No. We figured 4th of July we would let folks have with their families, but we will have camp through the 3rd, and it is free, but we have 100 spots, so we need people to get their applications in pretty soon.
But you know what? Because it is free to the campers, but I think we have to talk about this, because maybe even the counselors, the students probably don't realize this. The camp costs quite a bit to do every year. It costs quite a bit, and some of the things that we do is not cheap by any means. The fact that just to provide 2 buses for transportation, 2 meals a day for 100+ students, the different enrichment activities, paying for people to come in to do certain activities. It costs quite a bit, thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars. But it is done through funds primarily through the community. No state grants, federal grants. It is a self-funded camp through donation through the community.
We do get a couple of small grants. The Georgia Highlands Foundation gives us a little money. We've been helped the last year by Rome City Schools.
Last year.
Our transportation. So we do have groups and individuals that have helped us.
Floyd, Triple CY.
Yes. And the Noon Optimists have donated. So there are organizations that help us out, but a lot of what we do comes from individual donations.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's a struggle that we have every year. In fact, our planning for this year's camp has been mostly funding. That's been our, and I'm thrilled because CJ and Rontavius are going to be in a position pretty soon to give us some money for the camp, and Dakota, I'm sure as well.
Start alumni chapter.
Yes.
So we collect dues.
They're going to be able to just handle it in a couple of years, and I'm looking forward to that.
I know you. But what is one of your fondest memory of camp? After 14 years, what do you really enjoy about camp?
I don't know. I have a lot of fond memories, but I think I enjoy the youngest group. Not any specific thing, but just to see them interact with each other on campus. I enjoy seeing that every year. And I know you like the oldest group.
I don't like young kids.
Yeah, I know you.
I like the older group.
Yeah.
I do. I like the fact that we can do things differently with the older group because they've been there the longest for most of them. But I enjoy seeing them come back after year and noticing not only the physical difference but the maturity. That's what I actually enjoy the most about camp.
Have you guys ever looked at the retention rate for camp?
I don't know if we've ever looked at it, but we know, not officially, but every year we kind of talk about, we know how many kids are roughly back, but it's high.
Yeah.
Pretty high.
We've got to take another break. When we come back, we will give you information about how you can get an application for your 10 to 14-year-old young man to attend.
10 to 14.
So we'll be right back.
Your life is filled with opportunities to show the world you can take charge. It's waking up each day with a mission. It's working each day toward a goal. It's choosing to rise. It's charging forward with a purpose. It's changing the course of your life and taking charge of your future. If you're ready to be a Take Charger, enroll at Georgia Highlands College today.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking about Foundation Camp with Dakota Watley, with CJ Freeman, and with Rontavius Coley. If you have a young man in your family or your neighborhood that would like to attend Foundation Camp, if you would email me at jhershey@highlands.edu, I will send you an application form. You can probably pick one up also at any of the Rome City schools, elementary schools, and the middle school counselor's office. They should have forms.
And the 100 website, they can download the
Right,
form.
100 website as well. It's a great camp, absolutely free transportation, meals, no charge to the campers. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. And thank you for being with us on Community Watch. We'll see you next time.